Let's go. Let's go. What is going on? What is going on, y'all? Thank y'all so much for tuning into another episode of Beyond the Hustle. I am your MC, Daniel Tadamy, and join with me, as always, is serial entrepreneur himself, Mr. Paul Renee Jr. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. How y'all
What's
feeling,
up,
man?
Maestro?
How y'all feeling? How's it going, brother? How's it going?
I'm doing well today, Maestro. Man, it's wonderful, man. It's a beautiful thing. You know what time it is.
Yes.
Hey, it's been a minute, man. Maestro, thanks for helping us get things together and upgrade the set and everything like that, man. Excited to be here. Talking to you, Maestro, is kind of like what I look forward to throughout the week, man. I can get a lot of things off of my chest, and really did need it, as of recent, since it's hectic, man. It's tax season, and everybody's flooding in and trying to get their taxes done at the last minute.
You got some late people? People
it,
showing
man.
up late?
Yeah, I mean, I still appreciate it. I know how it is. Look, taxes is not like something that everyone wants to, do or is looking forward to do. Nobody wants to fund the war in Ukraine. You get what I'm saying? Or be the one to contribute to millions of dollars to Uganda for condoms or anything like that, or help some type of foreign political party. It's just, no one wants to be a part of that. I guess when the government decides to let the people choose where they want to pay their taxes, there might be a different type of reaction that come to tax season. But it's a stressful time, bro. It's a stressful time. But how was your week, man? All's good?
Yeah, man. Trying to stay busy. Well, it ain't trying. Been staying busy. Working with some clients. Doing some design work for clients. Social media managing as always. So we have our social medias that I manage, my own personal, and then trying to find time to develop my own personal content, because there's a lot of things I would like to make content about. So I'm trying to find ways where I can do that,
Yeah.
So because I have the game and I have the streaming, so I do that, and then I also want to make some more content too, so personal content. So just been trying to work on that, man. Staying busy.
Yeah, let your clients know that they can advertise on Beyond the Hustle, get their business put up on here. We can get it out to the world, but America needs to know what kind of service that you provide. We're out there on Spotify. Check us out. YouTube, all the social media platforms. Like and subscribe. Well, we're doing this for the people, and you get to hear what Daniel and I like chopping it up about. When we get together and stuff.
Dude, I forgot to say that in the intro too. Y'all can check us out on Spotify too. So go ahead and add us, man. Go ahead and add us in your rotation on Spotify, man. Dang, dude. We gotta, and this is episode 22, man. We gotta give it up for that, bro. This is 22 episodes.
We do have to give it up. We do have to give it up. We grown.
Yeah, we grow, man. We grow. Right? Yeah, and we out there for real with the big dogs, man. We on Spotify now. We competing with them now, Paul.
Deuces. Definitely. It's a big game changer to be out there on Spotify, right? So we out there with the big dogs. We competing on them. We're getting some feedback and love on TikTok too, guys. We're out there. I guess some people are interacting with us. They might not like some of the things that we have to say, but they're listening, man, and they're watching and they're engaging. And we all love y'all, man. We love y'all either way. So don't take offense to it. We're just doing this for fun. And America, we're out here to answer any of y'all questions or have discussions that you need. And feel free. Listen, I talk to a lot of people who are business owners, male and female. Don't be afraid to, send us some type of requests and, ask us to join on and interact with us on an episode or two. We'd love to have you guys on. All right. We did this for you, America. We're doing this
Yeah,
for you. All right.
yeah,
For especially entrepreneurs or aspiring entrepreneurs who want to get on and talk about their trials and tribulations, about their road and journey to entrepreneurship. All right. And besides that, there's a lot of current events and things out there that I
yeah,
like talking about and chopping it up about, right? So
yeah.
I know you got some things for us today too, huh? Some
Dude,
to
it's
look
it's
at,
it's it's been
right?
a lot. It's been a lot going on. Yeah, so this is gonna be interesting because I I wanted to talk about, you know, we talk a lot about the entrepreneur journey
Yeah.
and how we respond to it, and doing what we're trying to do and overcoming personal challenges. I think this is interesting now, especially with the temperature of the country, the state of the world, actually. Navigating it when you're doing it right personally, you're straight, you're centered, but the world around you is kind of like going crazy, a lot of uncertainty, a lot of fear, with the stock market, Trump with the tariffs, of course, naturally, if you've been paying attention, these tariffs. The stock market is crazy, fluctuating from day to day, and then you have people trying to navigate that uncertainty and still being able to produce and perform for their families. So I did want to talk with you about that, just kind of like see what are your thoughts are, you know, when it comes to you, like, are you seeing anything within your clientele with taxes? And then I reached out to you, I think the week ago, and you was showing some homes with your real estate. Like, are you noticing anything, in your sphere?
Well, I know in my current city, real estate is booming right now. I'm out in the Ocala area, Central Florida area, and the real estate market is booming. It's a buyer's market. Interest rates have gone down. The you know, for a while we were in this inflated market with real estate, but it kind of has been at a plateau right now where it's reasonable. All right,
Mm-hmm.
basically, we have a baseline that we're working off of in real estate right now. So the house market looks pretty good. I'm satisfied with it. I like how my assets has accumulated value over the years based off of this current market too. So it's a good thing. There's a lot of homes out there for sale too because people want to capitalize on that. Um, it looks like a great economy in this area, but I don't want to take it away from Ocala and the surrounding areas being the number one area in Florida where a majority of people are moving into. Okay,
Mm.
so
Yeah.
it might not reflect the rest of the nation, but I like to pat myself on the shoulder and say that I moved here to a good location at the right time
Yeah.
because I seen development. I seen how the development was going to occur. I seen how it was going to look like in the future when I started investing in this area, and it's come to light. It's come to fruition, and I'm proud of the decisions that I made. And a lot of people are still moving out here, man, and it's still affordable, especially when you're coming in from areas where the market is just crazy.
Yeah.
They're looking at Florida like, yeah, it's a gold mine out here. You get a lot of
Yeah.
space. You're close to the beaches and it's not cold. It doesn't get as cold as it does in the northern states. But yeah, the market's looking real good. People are buying. Interest, like I said, interest rates are down. Um, it's a good time to buy. It's a good time to move to Florida too. So if you guys need any help, reach out to Alpha and Omega Realty. We're out here. Um, excuse me, Omega Alpha Realty. We're out here in Central Florida, and we'll help you find a home or help you sell your home. So yeah,
Dude,
I'm pretty confident, and I've been saying it from the beginning of the year that 2025 is going to be a great year.
Yeah.
because it was a year of uncertainty. Yeah, it was a year of uncertainty, but it's a good number in my opinion. I'm
25.
not like a yeah 2025 that number nine, man. The mysteries of the universes are in three sixes and nines, man. Right. So whenever a nine pop out, it should be something good. But again, I'm just not saying that that's valid or not,
Right.
but maybe it's because I'm always optimistic in every situation, and I'm the type to always look into uh, being a better version of myself. And I
Mm.
knew going into 2025 things were just going to get better, right? Don't get me wrong. There's some downfalls. There's some adversities. There's some obstacles had to overcome, but overall, it looks good. It looks good for the community. It looks good for the nation. I know a lot of people are still, based off of what I've been hearing. Now, again, for these last couple of months, I've been kind of in my own bubble, hiding in a cave, not even knowing what's going on. Daniel, to be real with you, brother, I hardly hear any news, or look and watch for any news. Most majority of the news that I get or hear about is from other
Mm.
people, right? And then I look
Right.
into it. Uh, I'm just so buried into serving my community and serving, the community people that I serve,
Right.
that I'm sometimes, the majority of the time, oblivious to what's going on in the outside world. But based off of what I'm seeing, just looking at it, looking at the numbers, the logistics, what law wise, and just the analytical analysis of what's going on in the country and in the area, things are looking good. So another mark, right? And again, it might not reflect the rest of the country, but another mark of a good economy is construction. And all over Florida, that's all we're seeing
Mm. That's
is
all you're
construction.
seeing. Yes.
All you're seeing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I'm with you on that. A lot of construction.
Yeah.
And
That means
I don't,
money's being moved.
and so that's what makes me, that's what, that's what makes me like continue in my, in my optimism. Because I'm optimistic. I always try to go for the silver lining, the bright side of any situation. And another thing that keeps me optimistic, even with a lot of people dealing with uncertainty with the market and all these type of things. And I did scoop up some stocks, and I plan on scooping up a little bit more, just because I know it's gonna go. It's definitely, like we talked about the last episode. It's a long hold. Um, but you still see money moving, and
Mhm.
from these major companies, like you were talking about, even with the construction side of things, you're still seeing major money move. So as long as money is circulating, money is moving, there's money to be made. Because the people with the money, the 1%, are moving it, and that's what you want to see. So no matter what you think about Donald Trump's politics, whatever, however you feel about this administration, money is moving, and that's what you want to see. So, and as long as people remain in the optimism, and what they were saying with the stock market, even with it looking like what it's looking, they're saying that majority of the stockholders, people that are the majority of individuals that own these shares, these stocks, they're all the 1%. So the average middle class or lower class individual doesn't have the money to be able to even invest in the stock market. So they don't care about the stock market crashing or going down. So when you talk about, the stock market is down, S&P 500 is down, majority of people, 9 to 5ers, the people that are working, they don't care because they don't have stocks
Mhm.
anyways. That doesn't help them deal with their day to day. So, and I like that. I'm glad people aren't falling for that, fear tactic, and like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
Armageddon.
Remember what? Yeah, remember what we talked about last episode too about stock, right? Because you mentioned that to me, and I had that conversation with you. So a lot of the middle class, low income people who do invest in stock are the ones who are panicking, based off of what the media is saying, and they're looking at it like, oh well, you see what you did now, the market's crashed and everything, but like I told you, the media is kind of like the guideline that the wealthy people follow to know how they should trade their stocks. Okay, whenever there's some type of calamity going on, and don't. This is not, I'm not giving you guys any financial advice. This is entertainment purposes. Just want to put it out there. Whenever a calamity is going on,
Right.
People with money, they put, tens of thousands of dollars into certain areas that are associated with what they see in the media, or they take out their money, depending on how the media is narrating what's going on. So when they start talking about Elon Musk is horrible, he's doing all this to the government, and people are frustrated, that's an indication to pull out, right? So the money that you made within any of the stocks, and I'm just giving examples, right? The money that you made, or that you invested in those stocks, it's time to cash out and pocket the profits, because that's an indication that the stock's going to plummet. All right. So for example, if you're hearing, oh man, Ford is doing terrible, the numbers in Ford is garbage, they made this ugly car, right? That's time to pull out. time to cash in on your pockets, because within a day or two or a few hours or whatever, that stock profit price is going to drop. So you pull out, and you wait for it to drop, you wait for it to bottom out, then you take, your proceeds and invest back into that company if you like it, if that's that company that you like, because now you made, and this is with tens of thousands of dollars. When you start investing tens of thousands of dollars, you start seeing a large sum of profit, rather than if you just buying one share or two and you're making a couple of dollars here and there. You're really not going to see the effect. But they're putting in tens of thousands of dollars into these different stocks, and then they're seeing that those proceeds, the profit from it, and then they take, you can either pocket the profit or whatever, but a lot of them take it and reinvest, or reinvest the initial investment back into it, because now they're getting it at a discount price.
Yeah.
When you look at it, it's a discount. And if it was at $10 a share, now it's down to $3 a share, it's going to go back up to $10 a share. So you're getting it now at a discount price. So it's a game, man. It's a game that the people who are in it know how to play. They know how to listen to the keywords, and they know how to capitalize off of it. But it's the ones that don't know how to play that end up buying the share. Yeah, they end up buying it at $10, and it goes down to $3, and they're like, oh my god,
what
have I done? And now they want to cash out. Now they want to cash out and say it's going to keep going down.
But at that point, so you hold, yeah. That's why if you lose like that, see, you shouldn't be investing that. Like, no,
that's how it is usually.
Yeah, you're right. That's how it is.
Majority of time.
They want to try to maximize their return. So and I understand it too, because it's the 401ks that are like, and that is a lot of these people's retirement. Like, they're banking off of Social Security and 401k. So when they see the 401k, and that's what everyone's in an uproar about, because the 401ks are dropping. But they're gonna go back up, and a lot of people are. I can get into this whole this new economic structure plan that Trump wants to enact at this juncture. In America, at this time in American history. This is going to change the entire landscape. Well, the economic structure of America is changing. Like, it's shifting, bro. Like, it's gonna, and that's what has a lot of people nervous, because what if it doesn't work? I think it will. The world America has done a great job of making itself like the center of the world. where all
Yeah.
these countries will rely on us. They've done a great job at that. It's a good and bad thing because you can paint yourself as a target, you know. So at the same time, on the other side, people rely on you to. So all these other countries are vested in your survival, right? Because they're
Yeah.
banking on your survival. So that's a good thing, but it's also a bad thing because we have a target. You know, I think we've done really good with our alliances though, so I think we'll be okay. But so America has been like largely import. You know, we've relied on the world, right? The world economy.
Yeah.
So like we import like a crap ton. I don't know the percentage, but I'm totally spitballing. Like 95% of the goods. If you look at anything in your home, it's gonna say made in China, right?
Right. Right. Hmm.
So, and now they're shifting to where now we're bringing manufacture back here because what it's done is our currency. Like the dollar is like overly inflated, and we have to stabilize it, right? And we don't want it. We don't want to go into our deposit like where we're sitting all this money set up because we don't want to lose our reserves. Well, China has a lot of U.S. dollars in their reserve too. So if we don't make a deal with China, China can cash in all their bonds on us, and we have to pay that money back to China. And we're already, I don't want to say like 30 something $1 trillion in debt. It's crazy. So
Yeah.
now
With a
we're trying
T.
to shift, yeah, bro. And now we're trying to shift back and bring manufacturing back here because it's a safety risk. They say it's a security risk, you know, everything being manufactured in China. So a lot of people are on edge. But there's a lot of optimism because people are saying this is the time where millionaires are born. In moments like
Most
this, in
definitely.
moments of uncertainty, in moments where people are unsure, you know? If you believe in the system, you believe in it. You know, I tell people all the time, you don't have to like America. You don't have to agree with their politics or policies. It's a capitalistic society. So as long as you own something, you have a business, you have a product or service that you can sell or something that you can leverage like that, and you're able to position yourself for success, I mean, you could do really great in this country, you know? Um,
Well, that's why everybody likes coming here, right? Because the opportunity is here. So
yeah.
yeah, if you can sniff out the opportunity, you'll do great, and a lot of people have. It's just um, it doesn't really take talent. It doesn't really take genius. It just takes hard work and the ability to take risks. And so, if you're really willing to take those risks and you're willing to work hard at whatever vision or whatever goal that you have, the chances of you being successful is, high probability, high possibility. So, and that's what America is about. That's why it's called, the land of the dream or free or whatever, because you get the opportunity here to do whatever you really want to and focus to, as long as it's in accordance to the laws and stuff. And um, yeah, the uncertainty is going to be there, but the people who are investors and opportunists are going to be looking for the opportunity to grow during that time of uncertainty. I know I
Yeah.
am. I know I look for
Yeah.
things, to capitalize off of whenever markets crash. That's one of the best times to be making money. So just the
Yeah.
same way, like the stock, it goes all it's all around the board, just like
Yeah.
the stock market, right? Like, hey,
Hmm.
everything's down, values down, everything. That's the best time to buy, and not when it's high,
Yeah.
right? And so
Yeah.
unless you're a savvy investor, you're not going to know that, and you're going to panic and think that, oh my goodness, everything's on fire, right? But
The
the
world's on
real
fire.
true
Yeah.
investor, yeah, the real true investor, wants to buy that land after it's on fire, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's that piece of land that I want, because I can see a shopping center here or some multifamily units right there, right? So yeah, that's the opportunist mindset. And so there is going to be a lot of opportunity out there, a lot of
Hmm.
jobs too. And that's what, see, that's what, that's kind of like the benefit that wealthy people bring to the table, is they employ people to be able to chase their dreams. Jobs, and it all depends on how you perceive things. You could be wanting to do a
Hmm.
job and retire in the long haul, but
Yeah.
the purpose of a job is in a company, isn't really to be, um, your home base for the rest of your life. It's really supposed to be that vehicle that you use to fund your dreams.
True.
I mean, because let's be real. If any one of you guys, anybody out there in America is running a company, you're gonna have rules and regulations, and make sure you're here on time, and don't say this, and you can't talk this way, and clock in on time, and if not, you're fired, and you will be replaced. There's no real feeling or emotion involved in it because you want to do what's best for your company, right? You're not really worrying about, you know, all the excuses that or situations that everybody's bringing to the table. I'm not saying you shouldn't, to a capacity, but overall, the purpose of your business is to make money, right, and to be productive as possible. So, you contributing to that job should be, in a short term, or if it's going to be in a long term, just make sure you get raises, you know, um, every a year or 2 years while you're there with that company. Don't just sit there stagnant, move up and move ahead in that company to where, maybe now you're owning shares or your partner or whatnot, that there's nothing wrong with that. But it's really jobs. The billionaires out there are creating jobs for people to be able to have the money to be able to fund their dreams. Okay. So, and there's always a bad taste in people's mouths for wealthy people. I get that. But when you really look at it, they're the ones who are the philanthropists. They're the ones who feed the homeless, and they're the ones who donate to the charities. They're the ones who help and build the schools and have their names in the colleges for the libraries and for the, research development centers and whatnot. They're the ones who contribute the money because you can't do that when you don't have any money. They contribute their money to society, right? They help with the infrastructure where the government doesn't, So, it's a good move to want to be able to be on that level.
So. I think the media and like society has done a great job with making people afraid of making money, afraid of earning more, afraid of striving to be in that 1%, that whole classism, that war. I think society media has done a great job of keeping people in a space where they don't like the 1%. So since you don't like people with money and wealthy individuals, you don't like billionaires, you're never going to be one. You're not Correct. Even going to even attempt to strive to that because you already don't like them. So which means you can't rub shoulders with someone you don't like. They've done a great job of keeping individuals in their own prison. The door is open, but they have people afraid to walk out. You're afraid to strive. You're afraid to want more. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Man, listen. I'm trying to see what it's like. They say money can't buy happiness. I say this. I joke with my wife about this. People say money can't buy happiness. I'm like, I'll try it. I'll be that test to see if money can buy happiness. You know what I'm saying?
I'd rather be sad in a Beamer. Right, I'd rather be sad with millions in the bank. It's just like, I'd rather be sad with that. Yeah,
dude, they say money can't buy happiness, but it can buy happy,
but can't buy a Happy Meal.
Yeah, What did Drake say? He says, "I'm happiest when I can buy what I want."
This is true.
So
this is true.
Money
is not everything, man. That's what people should understand. It isn't everything, but it's like oxygen. Okay, oxygen isn't everything either, but you do need it in order to survive.
You need it
to live. Yeah,
and I don't think it's wrong to want a bunch of it. I don't think it's wrong to want $1 billion. I don't think it's wrong to want more money than you can spend in your lifetime. Because for me, I don't go as hard as I do for me and where I'm at, because I can't do everything or I can't use everything that I attain. But it's not for me. It's for the generations after me. Like you were saying, they're the 1% are the ones that build the libraries, donate to the facilities and things to the schools and things like that. So now they have a wing. I mean, that's legacy. You got people that donated to these schools, 30, 40, 50 years ago, and their name is ever etched into the history books of that campus. To me, that is cementing a legacy. That's proof that you walk the face of this earth, and money can do those things for you. I think like that, bro. Like, I'm dead serious. I think about what I'm going to be able to leave behind outside of just my bloodline. You know what I'm saying? I want a road, bro. Yeah, I'll take a road. You know what I'm saying? I'll donate to a school and take a library, bro. I don't know. I think like that, man.
Lane.
Dude,
Tatamy Lane.
I mean, I think like that, bro, because let's be honest. If you have a business, you have a company, you just trying to be the people that, I'm not talking about you, I'm just anyone listening. You only want to serve those in your neighborhood? You just want to be a local, I guess, celebrity? You just want they always had that shop on that same corner. They've been there for 20, 30, 40 years. That same shop on that corner. That's it? That's all we're going to do? I don't know, man. I don't.
That's some people's dream, though. I'm not down in people's
You
dream
right, man.
That, just want that, out of their life. That means that might be everything for them. But other people, I like taking things internationally.
That's what I'm saying.
The things that I know, I was talking to a buddy of mine about how, because I've been stuck in tax mindset, man, and a lot of the society, like you said, are uncertain of what's going on. A lot of people are at an uproar. A lot of these politicians are at an uproar. Dude. And it just made me think about all these politicians. And I know it's kind of off the subject that we were talking about, but it just made me think about what we were talking about earlier with a buddy of mine. It's just these politicians, they come into the game, Daniel, with no money, right? No money, and on a politician's salary. And they end up making millions of dollars. They end up having net worths of millions of dollars. Yep. Like, we were talking about stock and stuff like that. You see what I'm saying? They're the ones who be into all that stuff, right? Too, and capitalizing off of the stock, because they're hearing these things first. They're hearing what's going on first, and then the media is catching on it and everything. And how is it that with the salary of almost six figures, probably the high 5 figures. Yeah. But now is all of them 6 figures though?
They're 6 figures, depending on your dish, depending on who you serve. But you're on. Oksana says she loves the visuals. Appreciate it, babe. Man, dude, it looks awesome, Paul. I'm not gonna lie. I'm looking at. I'm watching. I'm monitoring it. But awesome. Yeah, they come in with these 250, 300 salaries, 500 salaries. Nancy Pelosi, she's worth $400 million, man.
Good Lord, man.
$400 million.
How is that possible?
It's all insider trading. They all insider trade. So Congress have been trying to pass this bill to where members of Congress, you can't trade. You have to looking crisp and clear. Appreciate it. Thank you. A lot of man hours, a lot of work. But so like Congress, they're trying to get this bill passed. Well, they've been trying to pass this on and off throughout the years, to where if you're a congressperson, you cannot trade for a certain period of time. So say there's something that you're voting on. You guys are voting on giving GM this contract or Lockheed this contract to, because when I was working at Lockheed years ago, Lockheed got an $8 billion contract to manufacture the F-35, right? So if you're about to award Lockheed this contract, you Congress individuals are not allowed to trade on this stock for a certain period of time. Right? Because it's insider trading.
Yeah, and you benefit from the rise in the stock price.
Right. So naturally, you think those Congress individuals are going to pass that bill, Paul?
No.
Exactly. So the bill never makes it. It never passed.
Yeah.
It never passed.
So these are the same people that are putting the narrative out of the uncertainty of the country because
They're
it's
losing
uncertain
money.
for them, right?
Right.
They can't
They're losing money.
move the way they used to move. They can't send money to these foreign um, countries for their political reasons to set up
Mm-hmm.
shell companies and those foreign companies to pay themselves anymore,
Yep.
right? Because
Yep.
that's how they were doing it, and that's what they were catching
Yep.
was all these frauds. And so, yeah, they're bickering and complaining because um, there's a lot of loss, that's coming their way.
Yeah.
When and they're pushing out the narratives, and the people who aren't aware of it, they're just hearing what's going on in the media and riding along with it without doing the
Yep.
research and understanding what's going on. So now that I'm seeing, these things come to light, it kind of brings the optimism to me that a lot of this money that's been out there, that's been mishandled and misused, is going to be coming back to the American people in some form or another. So, because that money is yours, America. I see it. I see it all the time. In my cave, going to work for you guys daily, trying to, get you guys back the money that you deserve in taxes. I'm seeing how much money people are paying in taxes. Some people pay more than what others make in a year. So those are the ones that should be concerned with what's going on and should be wanting things to be fully transparent, as far
Yeah.
as how the government's working and where their tax dollars are going. But it's the ones that are not really paying in the taxes that are making them, the most noise too, right? They're not even contributing to society like that, and they're complaining and you know riding the narrative about how uncertain the country is going.
This
Um,
is this is what I tell people. You know, if if you want to sit here and complain about a lot of what's happening, I'm down to hear your complaint, and that's straight. You know, but if you don't vote, if you're not a voter, then what you have to say, I'll listen to it, I'll hear it out. Yet it doesn't really make too much because I'm not saying that the democracy that we have is the best thing, whether you agree with it, believe in it, or not, right? It kind
yeah,
of doesn't matter. If you think it's just a fallacy, or if you think it's just front facing, that's fine. Everyone can have their own opinions. And I agree with people that feel that way. I understand people feel that way. I mean, I agree with it. Yet at the same time, hell, man, it's the only one we got, right? So I
and
mean,
I love it.
either play the
So does
game or not.
everybody
Like,
else who wants to flood
right?
over
I
here,
mean,
right? So,
there's a reason why other countries want to set up democracy. There's a reason why other countries want our help with establishing democracy in their country. Like, there's a reason
mhm,
why. I don't think it's
yeah,
perfect. I don't think it's the best. Yet I'm of the mindset that if if like people and the thing, people that criticize the wealthy or say, oh, this person, like people say Elon's not smart, he doesn't know what he's doing. Trump is not a great businessman, he doesn't know what he's doing. He's bankrupt all these, or he's filed for bankruptcy all these times, as if
right.
bankruptcy is that horrible of a thing. You know, I don't
No,
care
it's
if you
not.
have 5 businesses fail. If one worked and you became a billionaire off of that one, you know something. So people that's kind of weird to me. You know, I don't like to get into that song or dance, but
He's a risk taker. He's a risk taker. That's what it is. And sometimes things don't work. It's just the way.
sometimes they don't
If
work.
anyone, yeah, anyone who's an entrepreneur knows that not every business is gonna make money. Um, but you deal with the consequences of it not working out. And the people who invested in you got to deal with it too. They felt it was going to work out too. That's why they invested the money
Right.
in you, but it didn't play out the way it wanted to play out. So let's wash our hands. File bankruptcy. That means I'm still gonna have to pay you back. You one of the creditors,
Yeah.
but at least it's probably at a fraction or payments or something, but whatever the judge decides, right? But that's just the way it works. But for a man to fall and have battle scars and battle wounds and then still come up and be on top, that's the type of guy I want to be on my team, right? Instead of someone who had a life that was, peachy peachy and didn't have to experience any type of adversity in life, and everything was gravy. That's a guy I probably don't want to trust, really, because you don't know how he's going to act or respond when shit hits the fan, right?
Yeah.
When it gets real thick and thin and things fail, how is that guy that never experienced adversity going to respond? He might fold and crumble. He might take everything down that you helped build as well. He might take it down. When a guy like Trump, who has shown that he's been through the wars, and he's been battle scarred, and he's had bankruptcies, and he has failed, but that didn't hold him down. He didn't curl up into the fetal position and say, I'm gonna give up. He just made bigger, better moves and made himself a fabric of this American society. Everybody loved him until he became president, and I bet you he probably paid off the people who he owed the debt to later on in life. He had enough money to, or he probably went into business with them in another way. In fashion, they're like, oh yeah, you back in the game, all right, yeah, we'll invest in you now again. Oh well, we lost money with you last time, but we see you doing it now, let's jump in, right? Right, because everyone loves a winner, right? Everyone's gonna join in with the winner. And he's proven himself as a winner.
Oksana says exactly, Paul.
It's you might not like him, but you gotta respect what he's done. And the name that he has created for himself, and all he wants to do is make this country better. I don't like all his policies. I don't like everything he says. Just like a lot of the people that I've done deals with or I've worked with and everything, I don't like everything they said. You shouldn't be like, just agreeable yes man person to everything everyone says and does. But if you can come out at the end of the day and give us the results that we need, then yeah, I'm rolling with you, no matter how, troubled or messed up your past is, or what kind of person you say, or what you say that might be idiotic that I don't like. You're gonna give me the results I need. You get what I'm saying? That's what it's all about. That's the bottom line, for real.
Oksana says that plenty of rich people have found for bankruptcy to lower debt and start over. Bankruptcy is literally part of the wealth strategy. Yeah, it is.
Definitely.
So we're gonna get into some new stuff, Paul. We're gonna get into some new stuff. We got some reactions, bro. We got some
Mr.
reactions.
Burchett for 5 minutes.
Oh, don't want to start it yet. I want to get your opinion. I kind of snuck and watched these. I think in the future I probably won't watch them. But it's two videos I want to get your reaction to. And I want to see what you think about it. All right.
Why do these look like politicians? All right. What's going on here?
You know me and politics, Paul. Me and politics have a love-hate relationship. I love to hate politics. Okay, hold on.
Mr. Burchett for 5 minutes.
You can hear that? Can you hear that?
Yeah, perfectly.
I want to know if people out there can hear it too. Let me know if y'all can hear this. If y'all can't hear the video, let me know in the comments.
Thank you, Chair Lady. Mr. Roman, are you aware that we are sending $40 million a week to the Taliban?
Yes, sir.
Can you name other instances of foreign aid going to terrorist organizations?
We have assisted Al-Shabaab in Somalia. There's been instances of the Khamsi network in Sudan, Hamas, Islamic Jihad, Hezbollah, Kata'iba Hezbollah, Hayat Tahrir al-Shams in Syria. Dozens of terror organizations have received indirect assistance from U.S. foreign aid. These lobbyists have come to the House and have tried to kill legislation like H.R. 160, which was meant to increase transparency in USAID's funding of overseas organizations.
Is that a current piece of legislation?
That's from the last session.
And give me that number again.
H.R. 160.
And what does it do?
It was meant to give U.S. lawmakers the ability to have higher transparency in terror financing investigations aimed at scrutinizing extremist groups.
Mr. Premack?
We had a regulation before we left in the last administration that anybody who touches money in countries where there's terrorists, those names have to go through databases, terrorist databases. That was overturned by Biden.
Dude, did you just hear that?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Bro,
I'm not surprised, bro.
But this is what trips me out. We joke about this. People joke about this all the time. You hear people joke about it. You hear people say it online that we fund terror organizations. This is like, you actually see it now. Like, there's proof of it. Like, they're telling you it now. They're telling you where. They're telling you how. They're telling you about legislation that they have to stop it, and then how the legislation was overturned to prevent it from happening. So that's like, you don't want to stop funding terror groups, do you? You know what I'm saying?
I'm going to say this, right? I'm going to say this. So I was in Afghanistan back in 2002, right? When the towers got hit, I was in an airborne school. They were like, oh, looks like you guys are going to be the first ones to go out there. And I was like, damn, man, I signed up for the college money, right? But let me just say this. 2002, right? And it's now 2025. So how long has this been going on for?
Jeez.
That's the question, right?
They named terror groups I didn't even know existed. I never heard of them before.
Yeah. So there's terrorist groups that have been created because of the fundings that's going on. That can fund a lot of people right there.
$40 million a week, bro.
How long has this been going on for?
There's 52 weeks in a year. What's 40 million? Can you do that? What's 40 million times?
I don't think my calculator can get that high.
Is that 2.8 billion?
Look, it's a lot of money, bro. It's a lot of money.
That's insane, bro. Yeah. That's insane. So I that was shocking when I seen it. Like, they just said it. Are you aware that they? Yes, I'm aware. You know what I'm saying? Just like all nonchalantly. Like,
I'm gonna say another thing. Again, you know me. I wear my tinfoil hat, entertainment purposes and stuff. Yeah, and they left a lot of weapons and machinery when they flew out of Afghanistan too. When the last administration told everybody to leave, right, and leave everything behind, all the guns and
Dude, do you know that they do parades with our tanks and MRAPs that we left over there?
Yeah, you got money, you got guns, you got equipment. What are you doing, right?
You just left it.
Yeah.
You just left it.
And
like they weren't going to get it.
I'm pretty sure whoever has this money and equipment and guns and stuff probably are taking orders from people who are able to fund them.
Kickbacks. We're gonna give y'all 40. We're gonna give y'all 40 million. You kick me back 5, you can have the rest 35.
Not even so. Not just the kickbacks, but they're taking orders. They might be. Who know? I don't know. I'm not involved in it, but it just makes I'm just making an assumption that, if I'm giving you $40 million, I need you to do something for me.
Hey,
you get what I'm saying?
I ain't saying this. This is for entertainment purposes only.
Entertainment purposes. Purposes, man.
Listen. I got someone gonna show up. somewhere. I need y'all to.
I don't think the clip of the people in that room in the business suits asked them, why are you sending that?
I don't think they would. No, they're not gonna ask them why.
Nah.
They were like, well, listen, I ain't trying to have y'all send your boys my way. Mm-hmm. Oh man, that's scary though, bro. I'm not gonna lie. That is kind of eerie. You know, you joke about it and you hear that things like 9/11 where I don't want to get too much into it, but you hear that these things are like kind of insider. You don't want to believe it. You know, it's one of the things where you don't want to believe. It's like you married, right? We're not talking about just like your significant other cheating on you. Like, you don't want to hear that you in some type of gang and then your boy set you up, or they're gonna be here, you know, rob him, or they ain't gonna be home. You know what I'm saying? Just woo. You don't want to know. I don't want to hear about, you know, someone inside the camp. That's some stuff you hear about in movies, bro. But we got one more.
My wife will no longer.
Now, this one is crazy, bro. This one is crazy. This is about 2 minutes. All right. This one is crazy. Let's get into this reaction.
My wife will no longer let me pursue my hobbies.
Oh my, I feel them.
Bye, Maurice. It's exactly as the title implies. She says I'm not allowed to pursue my own hobbies anymore as they are quote unquote unhealthy. Before our marriage 7 months ago, I was interested in all sorts of things. Playing video games for at least a few hours a week, collecting Star Wars figures. Some may say that was a bit childish anyways, but I enjoyed it nonetheless. Painting, hammers, 40K, etc. These are things that I have done since my early teens. My wife wanted us to make healthy lifestyle changes after our marriage, which at first I took as just eating healthier, exercising, etc. I was totally on board for it. Everything was fine until I went down to the basement one day and noticed that all of my Star Wars figures had been gone from the display shelf. All that remained were some limbs from a few.
Now, I'm not going to lie. Paul, I'm not going to lie. Now, I have a pop collection. Pops are like... Dang, I thought I had it around here. But pops are like little figurines, right? And like they could be figurines of anything, football players, basketball players, whatever like that. I'm big into anime, so I have anime pop figures and I plan on getting more.
I know what pops are. I have some too. I have soldier ones.
Dude. And my kids, I don't let my kids touch them. Dad, why do you have toys? I'm like, they're not toys, okay? They're not toys. Don't you touch them. And they don't touch them. They know. Yeah. But I'm gonna get back into the video. But like, bro, man, listen.
Yeah, touch that.
My wife was at work, so display shelf. All that remained were some limbs from on board for it. Everything was fine until I went down to the basement one day and noticed that all of my Star Wars figures had been gone from the display shelf. All that remained were some limbs from a few of the figurines. My wife was at work, so I sent her a text asking what happened to them. In the meantime, I rummaged through all of the garbage, and I finally found the figures in a bigger garbage next to our regular garbage. Most of the cards were torn up, and the figures were completely dismembered, while others were completely burned or melted.
Nah.
Oh, wow.
Nah.
I took a picture and sent it to her asking if she had did it.
You know she
That night,
did it.
after not replying to any of my text messages, I confronted her. It turned into a huge argument about how my hobbies are immature and that she was repulsed by them, even threatening to not have sex with me until I gave them all up.
Nope.
In the heat of the moment, I agreed with her, if only to get her to stop yelling at me.
Nope.
We haven't talked about it since, and I've unfortunately been abiding by her quote-unquote rules for the past 7 months. Though I've been secretly playing video games and buying figurines again. She only found out about one time, and she destroyed it immediately. I can't keep this up any longer, and I want to have my own hobbies without her getting upset. What is the best way to bring the subject up again, and how can I let her know how much my hobbies mean to me?
She know how much they mean.
That
first off already.
That's crazy work. You just silent on that one, huh?
I'm leaving. I'm leaving. I don't know. I'm not.
Imagine if I went upstairs to your bedroom and to your office.
Look here.
And I took all of your comic books, all your boxes of comic books, and I just threw them in the trash can. And then when you came home and you're like, "Where's my comic book?"
You know how much money I have up there?
And
that's
then
the
I,
other
you know what
part.
that stuff is worth?
And then I.
That's and that's what I want. That's what I was gonna get at too, because he said she ripped up some of his she ripped up the cards, and he said what type of cards. But you know, if you're a grown man like that and you have that vast of a collection, that's a lot of money. That's an investment, bro.
Even the Star Wars things are collectibles too. That mean you broke them?
Burn some of them.
Okay, so there would have
how
been
much?
there would have been some. There would have been some understanding if it was a conversation that they had and they sold all of their collectibles, right? They sold it.
Okay.
Because that's money, first off, right?
Yes.
And down the line, you're going to want to sell it. You know, if it's one thing to be like, and he came up to the decision too, of like, the whole thing started off wrong. First
but
off,
he didn't know
that.
But he didn't know that when she said we got to have more healthy hobbies, he agreed to it because he thought it was just like exercising and diet. He didn't know that she was referring to his, to his.
Daniel.
I kind of blame him though.
One word. No, you kind of. You say kind of. It is him.
It's him, right? You think, right?
Yes, that's obviously she does not respect you.
Facts.
To do all that stuff.
Facts.
She does not respect you, bro.
Facts.
All right? So the simple fact that you're writing into a show to tell people about it shows that you're the type of person that isn't respected. Okay? And she's upset that she married a guy that she can't even respect as a man. That can't even put his foot down. That ended up apologizing to her for burning his collectibles and you apologized to her and agreed with her after
just
she did
to get
all
her
that.
to be quiet.
You're not somebody that demands respect.
Yeah.
Or you know, it's just that's what it comes down to. My wife won't let me play video games. Won't let me. Look, man. I remember I visited a friend of mine with the family. It was a family friend, basically, not really a friend of mine. I didn't know him, whatever. But you know, I was happy he knew how to play chess, and I'm like, oh man. And we were out there grilling, and I was like, yeah, we grilling and we playing chess. I'm like, yeah, I could see this guy being cool, you know, he probably a cool cat, he knew grilling. And then he's like, hey, you want this beer? And I'm like, sure. He's like, yeah, I would have gotten, you know, Bud Light, but my wife won't let me. She wants me to drink. She wants me to drink, you know, this Michelob stuff. I said, what? I never went back there again, bro. My wife won't let. My wife won't let me. Look, man.
My gosh. I understand the wife's input on wanting you to have and giving you
questions. I can't relate.
No, I understand your wife suggesting healthy things for you, but to say that he can't play video games or have a collection because it's childish, men respect those. There's men like he's a man. He's not a child. He's not asking for your money. He's not taking money. He's not hurting the household financials. You know what I'm saying? For that, that's his hobby. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. If it was a situation where like money was an issue or whatever, like then I could understand them selling it, right? But there wasn't any issue. It's obvious there wasn't any issue for money because she didn't even think about selling it. She burned it. She burned it and broke it, bro. That's just disrespect, bro. That's a whole. Yeah, that don't fly. That's just disrespectful. And he's the type of guy that she married for security because he probably does have money.
Of course,
you know, she really doesn't love him. That's not love. See, because a man and a woman, again, like we're different, but that doesn't mean that we're not equal and as important from the value sense. All right. So everyone, you know, this modern times, everyone talks about equality, and we are equal in how important we are to each other, right? Like there's no, am I the prize, or is the man the prize, the women the prize? We're both the prize to each other, at the right type of people anyway. Is, you know, the right woman is a prize for a right man. But we're different. We're not equally the same. Of course, a woman can bear children, a man can't. He gives the children to the woman, right. For her to bear. It's not the same thing. You know, naturally, the man's stronger, the woman, you know, isn't. She's supposed to be the nurturer, he's supposed to be the disciplinary. There's roles that coincide with the gender, not gender roles, but roles that are, you know, associated with the gender, right? Because gender roles can differ, you know, it can be changed or whatnot, but women love by letting a man be who he is. Okay. Men love by you know, protecting a woman and letting her know what kind of world is out there, and doesn't want her to be injured from, you know, because men look at women as being innocent, pure, right? Like that would be like the ideal woman, and man being the experienced one, has been around the world and seen things and been there, done that. I know what men think. So you don't know. So I'm gonna protect you from the decisions that you're gonna make, being oblivious of what's out there, right? So that's the way we love and protect and protect. You know, we love through protection. Women love by allowing the man to be who he is. He might be you know, immature man, a petty man, you know, aggressive or whatever, but a woman who is his woman loves him for who he is. She does not love him. That's not love.
And I like what Oksana said. She said she's controlling. That is controlling. She said, I'm a wife, and I was like, that's crazy. No, it is crazy. And I think that because like you said, she married him for a reason, and I'm pretty sure he bought that security, because for number one, having a collection that vast is not cheap. So you know that
definitely not.
He was, and you had no problem with it. What I think, and this is what a lot of women do, they'll get a guy, see what he does, and like, oh, I'll change that, or I'll change that about him. And she wanted to change that about him the whole way through, because she saw that as immature, and that's not, and whatever, man, that's crazy.
I'll give you psychology.
I had a comic
the way
book
I
collection,
think about it too, right?
Paul.
You have the pop collection,
a comic book collection.
Mine isn't huge.
Bro,
I only have a couple of
I had a huge. No, my comic book collection was huge, bro.
Oh,
it was huge, and I wish I'd have kept it this long. That'd have been like grands, bro. But go ahead, say what you're gonna say.
As far as no, I think I lost my train of thought of what I was gonna say about that situation. Yeah, I lost my train of thought about what I was gonna say about that situation.
That is crazy. But I think every person, even women, I think everyone needs their own hobbies, and I don't think that they should be judged for whatever hobby you got. I went to was in a car shop, and I go inside there to go get some work done on the car, and I'm going in there, and this lady's just sitting there just crocheting, and I'm like, and I'm sitting there watching her, because I've never seen that before. But that's a person's hobby, bro. It's people that they just want to do that. That's their hobby. I think everyone should be allowed their hobby. But
we have. Man. I think I was about to catch what I was going to say. Yeah. So controlling one thing, right? Here's what I was going to say. Boring is more of it, right?
You think she thought he was
controlling?
boring?
Yeah, he is boring. Not thought, he is boring. Because he agrees with everything she says and does, and he sits there, just plays video games all day and collects figurines. There's no putting my foot down, right? So when a woman, and this is for all you young guys out there, when a woman is bored, she creates drama.
Ooh.
Okay. She creates drama because that's what women like. Think about all what they watch.
Don't say it like that, Paul.
Think about what they watch every day. TikToks, everything is drama stuff. TV shows, drama. So when a man is sitting there and not doing anything wrong, being the type of man that's out there on the streets, hanging out with the boys or whatever, nothing for her to get mad about, she's going to create drama, something to get mad about. And that's what it was. Because he's boring. All he does, he played hours in a video game, doesn't cause any confrontation. He says, okay, yes, you're right. He agreed to her after he burned them thousands of dollars. That's not a stand-up guy that caused, there was no drama, and that's what she wanted to create. She wants to create drama. Now, a smart man would not be with that type of woman. He would leave because a smart man doesn't want drama.
Right.
He doesn't, if you have things going on in your life, you don't want to be with a woman who's going to want to create drama. And to that capacity anyway, there could be little, nitpicks and fights just to keep things going. You got to have some type of, it's better for the man to create the drama than the woman to create the drama, in my opinion. Right? So sometimes you got to give her something, to have drama about.
To get us in about. Yeah. Oksana says,
yeah, because that's what they want. That's what they want. They want the drama. A woman cannot be bored, bruv. That's where the problems and stuff occur, right?
Being bored.
Just think about them. Think about all the women out there who've been, dealing with guys who don't have jobs, who don't have anything going for them, but they keep it exciting somehow, some way.
Somehow,
right? Yeah, it's because of boredom. All right, and a lot of them like to find guys who need that. It's something that's going on these days. I seen this podcast, right, where this guy was doing a prank that he was a homeless guy, and he was sitting there, covered up, and he, seen this fine woman walk past him. He's like, "Hey, can I get some money?" And she's like, "Yeah, sure." And he was looking like he was a homeless guy. He's like, "Yeah, I'm homeless. Yeah. I need this money so I can get a haircut." And she's like, "Okay." So she gave him some money. He's like, "Hey, can I take you out sometime?" She's like, "Okay, yeah, I'll take you. I'll let you take me out, but we're going to have to get you right. Okay. We're going to have to get you right. And, talk about your living situation and get you haircuts and stuff like that. Okay. I'll let you take me out on a date." Right. And so this is what we're dealing with nowadays. Guys who have their things together and shit together or whatnot are finding it hard to deal with women because women want to deal with men who they can control, who they have up on, right? And they can create that drama, create that excitement that of me helping this guy out, right? Like, you're nothing without me, and get out my house or get out my car. That's that drama, man. That's what it's all about. And they like that guy who's gonna stay there no matter what kind of drama is put out there.
Is introduced. So Oksana said that's toxic. It is toxic for sure. Not all women are like that. No, I don't think all women are like that. There are healed women who are about their peace. I don't think all women are like that. I think that
not all.
I think the ones that are trump the ones that aren't, that are not. So it creates like this perception that it is all. There's a saying that says, there's a saying that says, I don't know if you remember this. Oh God, I'm gonna totally butcher it, but they were like, they were saying that women who are hoes are standing. The good women are standing. The good women stand too close to the hoes, so it's hard to tell them apart.
Yeah, there we go. There you go. That's what I was gonna say. I was like, if you see a pack of lions, though, how are you gonna tell which one's about to eat you or not?
And I think that that's the problem, right? I think that I didn't want to go. I was trying to end the pod, Paul. I'm not gonna lie. I was trying to end it, but I think that that's the problem, right? Mm-hmm. And with that being said, I think that saying could go a little further. It's the women that are not hoes that are standing too close to the hoes. It's like, you got to call out that behavior too, because men, we do a great job at holding each other accountable. In my men's circle, you don't have to like all the men in my man's circle, and they all do. All of us have our ways about us, and we're all like, it's wild. It's just like, nah, they ain't good. You wouldn't. Yet we hold each other accountable even in our crap. And I think that women have to start doing that, whether it's loudly on a platform or not. So the women that are like harsh combat, and I think I'm seeing it a little bit more now, at least on social media. You hear women calling each other out, and I think that that's something that, for me growing up, I didn't, when I was in my 20s and teens, you didn't see too much of that. Even in the music.
It's a different generation now, bro.
It's completely
totally different generation out there.
I'm lost, Paul. I wouldn't want to do it. I'm not gonna lie. I wouldn't want to be 20 right now. I wouldn't want to be going through my 20s. Going through my 20s, bro, right now. God, I think I would.
I believe and know that there are solid women out there, but like you said, it's hard to tell them apart.
They standing too close to
each other. Yeah, and then that their girlfriends are trumping over them like you said as well. But
dude, just think about it, bro. When you used to be out there, bro. Just think about it. You go to the club and things of that nature, bro. I remember we'll be sitting in the club, dude, and we'll see a group of girls, and we just like, we're reading them as like we're sitting down, and we're like, nah, don't go for that one, bro. Oh, but she's the cutest one. Nah, I don't go for that one because the way her mentality is, and we're picking them out. And I'm not saying that guys know everything about every woman. I'm not saying that at all. But for some reason, when we approached that pack, we kind of called it pretty close. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And we kind of knew how to move. So I don't know, man. I think it's
the club is not the spot to be trying to pick up on girls either. For some long term stability or bars or anything like that. See, that's the problem with us guys, man. We don't know how to pick them either, right? We don't know how to pick them. So we can't blame all the girls, and the girls too. They don't know how to pick the guys. So it comes back to, if you're really dating with a purpose, you should have the people in your family, the people who care about you, help vet out the guys that you're interested in, or bring those guys to the table. Otherwise, you're gonna be that girl that picks out that homeless guy and says, "Yeah, look, I'm gonna get you right." Because you are interested, because I want that drama in my life, right? No, or you're gonna be that guy that's gonna get the girl that's gonna burn your figurines and call up podcasts and ask what you should do. Now, your family knows how, that guy's family knows how timid he is, so he needs a woman that fits his personality, and they would have picked him out, for him. And likewise, that girl knows that she needs a guy who can keep things exciting, and her family would have picked him out. But we don't know how to pick. We're picking people that don't really match us.
He knew she was like that though, and she knew what he liked, and she didn't like that. So why even marry this dude? Like that's the crazy.
How do you
part
know
for
he
me.
knew she was like that? He said that didn't happen until they got married.
People, but you see, Oksana said she got to get a Sony so she can come back because she got things to say. But people show who they are, Paul. People show who they are. She's commented on his collection, bro. She burned them, which means she had to burn someone's figurines, bro. She literally kerosene or whatever she did and lit it on fire. You gotta hate to burn.
I don't
bro.
I think she just knew that she could disrespect him and not face any type of consequences.
Facts.
She knew that.
They know.
I mean,
yeah.
That's what it comes down to. It had nothing to do with her having a conversation about it or anything. She probably never talked about it before ever. It was just like one day was just like, you know what I'm about to do? You know what I'm about to do? I'm about to burn and watch. He ain't gonna do nothing. Talk to her girls. Anything. Look. You don't know, right? The whole point is that's not the girl for him.
Nah.
Right? He have some backbone and not allow women to walk all over him. She doesn't respect him.
God no.
There's other guys out there that she respects and wishes that she was with, because any woman who loves a man would love him for who he is.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro. That's crazy. Dude, bro. That was dope. That was dope. I like the reacting like that. I'm gonna bring up some more for us to react to. And if y'all got some videos out there y'all want to see us react to, send them
that
my
was
way,
crazy, bro. That hurt me with the Star Wars thing,
dude. That went. That's why I saved that one for last, because I said that for some reason I care more about that than the 40 million going to terror. I don't know, bro.
Bro, yeah.
But man, thank y'all so much for tuning into Beyond the Hustle, man. This is episode 22. I'm your MC, Daniel Tadamy. That is Serious Entrepreneur Paul Renee Jr., man. TaxMoney123.com. Make sure y'all hit him up for all your tax purposes. It's tax season right now. You want to maximize your return, so make sure you hit him up. If you would like to be a guest on the show, you want to sponsor a pod, man, hit us up and let us know. Also, we on Spotify, so listen to this playback and other episodes on Spotify. Add it to your playlist, man. That'd be a great idea. What you gotta say to the people, Paul? Stop burning people figurines, ladies. Don't do that.
Yeah, for real. Definitely, man. That touched my soul. Or their collectibles. Don't touch any guy's collectible. Love your man for who you are. All right? I mean, for who he is. And if you love keeping your money, come to me, TaxMoney123. I'll get you that money you deserve. Nationwide coverage, close to home service. And let's get your business advertised on Beyond the Hustle, all right? Got my man Maestro over here. The legend when it comes to these podcasts and video production situations. Hit us up and we'll get things done. Other than that, we're gonna see you same bat time, same bat channel. America, thank you for being here while we chop it up. All right, and we'll do this again next week.
We'll see y'all later. Enjoy the rest of y'all night.